it's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a book haul. I may have mentioned this in another video, but I'm filming this right after Christmas and I keep my decor up till New Year's, so if this goes up after that, that's why this is still here. First books that were sent to me. I won the second book in the Blackberry Farm series by Adele Griffin in a giveaway on the publisher's Instagram. Then I got book one from eBay, so I mentioned that one and I read the synopsis in that video, but very excited. Thank you. The publisher sent me this for review. It comes out in April of 2022. It's Trusting True North by Gina Linko. True North Vincent is struggling after spending months in lockdown because of a virus. With her mom stuck across the border in Canada and her dad working long hours as a nurse at the hospital, True feels responsible for making sure her family stays safe, especially her grandma and her younger brother Georgie, whose asthma makes him more vulnerable to the virus. She also wishes her older sister Rose would be friends with her again instead of texting on her phone. True finds escape and comfort in working on her maps, a skill she learned from her mother. To keep Georgie entertained, True creates an elaborate treasure map for him to follow that spans the forest beyond her backyard. While exploring, they find a litter of newborn kittens in an old barn. The smallest kitten looks sickly and has been abandoned by the mama cat. True names her Teacup. She knows exactly how it feels not to have a mom around when you need her the most. True also meets Kyler, who wants to care for the kittens, and True realizes he might not be the bully everyone thinks he is. But when both Teacup and Kyler get sick, True is afraid she won't be able to help everyone all by herself. Running out of her own fixes and remedies, True reaches out and realizes that her family does care about her and wants to offer support and guidance to help her find her way through the unexpected challenges the virus and life bring. So very excited. Thank you to the publisher. And then I won this on the author's Instagram. You can get a giveaway, and it's ARC, and it comes out in February. This Last Adventure by Dalton. Remember me, Archie. Archie's grandpa has always been his hero, but after Grandpa is diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, the confident and adventurous man Archie known all his life starts disappearing. He's not just losing his memory, he's losing pieces of himself. Archie desperately wants to slow the progression of Grandpa's memory loss. Using Grandpa's old journal entries as inspiration, he creates shared role-playing fantasies with epic quests for them to tackle together, helping Grandpa to live in the present while staying in touch with his fading memories. But there's a limit to the power of the fantasies, and not all the memories recorded in the journal entries are happy. When Archie learns a painful secret about Grandpa's past, he questions everything he thought he knew about his hero. As Grandpa's condition worsens, Archie has to come to terms with the reality of what he's losing and decide what it truly means to live a life worth remembering. This is a contemporary that intrigued me by how it's done, how the author took the story, it seems, so very excited to read this. Thank you to the author. And then this was sent to me by the author to read and review, so thank you very much. It's Norm and Ginger Enter the Hidden, Book 1 by Fudge. There is a secret hiding inside the remote Vermont farmhouse where 11-year-old Becky and her family move after her father is fired from his job under mysterious circumstances. A guardian emerges with an ominous warning that someone is coming through a mirror to take Becky from the safety of her new home and leads her to the discovery of artifacts hidden under her bedroom floor. That same night, she finds an abandoned puppy destined to protect her and whose collar causes the artifacts to turn on. An ancient battle resumes for control over a secret once thought buried too deep in to be uncovered. As more mysterious creatures arrive, how will she know who is there to help and who means her harm? Becky and her new puppy must race to interpret the warnings, overcome their fear of sinister forces, and trust in the new alliances to solve a compelling mystery that has been hidden from her family for generations. But is it too late? It just sounds so incredible. I'm so excited, so thank you. So thank you to the ones that sent for review and the ones that won in a giveaway. And then a sequel I got. I had no idea this was coming. I think I even mentioned this when I talked about the first book before. That I didn't know if there was supposed to be more. It was a series, but I hadn't heard anything. Well, it came out on their Instagram that it had, so I ordered it immediately. This is a Cooper B series. This is book 2, and it's by Michael Shane Leighton. And the first one was sent to me for a review, but this one I bought myself. I love the first book. So this is Cooper B and the Forbidden Ability. Just so beautiful. I'm not gonna read the synopsis. This is the second book. Cannot wait. And then the Orphans of the Tide series, I have the first 2 in UK edition, and I cannot wait for the third to come out so soon. They're releasing in the US too, and it's one of my favorite series so far, so I was very excited to see it coming out in the US, and it's just beautiful. And this is the first book. And it's by Struan Murray. And the cover is done by Kathleen McAllister, I think. But the map in here is by Manuel Šumberac, who's one of my favorite illustrators, and it's just a beautiful map. So very excited to add this to my collection since it is a favorite. And then I got the two out in this series so far. It's the Draev Guardians, and they're by Rawls. And they just look and sound incredible. First book is Strayborn. Second book is Stray Blood. Elemental manipulation. Only those with the power can train to become a Draev Guardian. Cyrus' soul hates life. She's only half human, with weak wrists, and not a day goes by when someone doesn't say something mean about it, especially her stepmom. But when the forbidden power to manipulate metal awakens inside her, she finds herself on the run as the Argos corpse is sent to kill her. Aiken is a Scourgeblood, the last in a line of monsters, but all he really wants is to gain wings and be free, until a new power suddenly awakens, changing the course of his life. The Draev Guardian Academy is their only sanctuary, but training to become a Draev won't be easy. Cyrus has to hide her human side as she gets placed in Floor Harlow with the outcast students, and nightmares of her deceased mother keep returning. With creepy corpse on the prowl and whispers of Cyrus possibly being a reborn hero, both she and Aiken find themselves caught up in a web of secrets, racial tension, and an old legend with enemies that could spell their untimely demise. I think these are upper middle grade, and just very intrigued and so happy to have these. And then I got the Little House on the Prairie series by Laura Ingalls Wilder, and it was a great deal, but it is missing 2 books apparently. So hopefully they are made in this edition, because this is the edition that I really loved. Little House in the Big Woods, Little House on the Prairie, On the Banks of Plum Creek, By the Shores of Silver Lake, A Long Winter, Little Town on the Prairie, These Happy Golden Years. And they're illustrated inside too. All alone in the big woods of Wisconsin, the little log house was warm and snug and cozy. Inside the little house lives the Ingalls family: Ma, Pa, Mary, Laura, and baby Carrie. Outside the little house are the wild animals, the bears, the deer, and the wolves. This is the classic tale of how they live together, mostly in harmony, but sometimes in fear. I loved the show when I was young, growing up and stuff, and I didn't even know there was books, I don't think. So very happy. Even the spines, I love these. So I just need to find those other 2, and hopefully in this edition. And I got The Castle Corona by Sharon, who was an author I have many books by at this point, and I need to read because they all sound so up my alley and amazing. Just like that throughout. Long ago and far away, there was a castle, but not just any castle. This was the grand and glittering Castle Corona. And in this castle lived a family, but not just any family. This was the family of King Guido, rich and royal and spoiled. And King Guido was so spoiled that no finery could please him, for what he longed for most was a nap and a gown that didn't itch. Far below this grand castle is the dense woods lived 2 peasants. But not just any peasants. These peasants, though poor and pitiful, were plucky and proud, in the possession of a stolen pouch. But not just any pouch, a pouch whose very contents had the power to unlock secrets and transform lives. It doesn't really tell you much, but gives you enough to make you want to know more. Very excited. This isn't a story I'd normally pick up, but this cover just keeps grabbing at me, and the story does sound really good. And even though it is like a contemporary, I think it's one I will enjoy. A Rambler Steals Home by Carter Higgins. Meet Derby Christmas Clark, a rambler of the road. Derby Garland and Tribble Clark spend each season traveling highways and byways in their Rambler until summer, when small-town Ridge Creek, Virginia calls them back. There they settle in, selling burgers and fries out of Garland's grill after each game the Rock Skippers play in their battered minor league baseball stadium. Derby's summer traditions bring her closer than she's ever been to a real home that isn't on wheels, but this time, her return to Ridge Creek reveals unwelcome news. Now the person Derby loves most in town needs her help, and yet finding a way to do so may uncover deeply held stories and secrets. It does sound really great, and I think this will be a great summer read too. It's very exciting. And then I got Escape from Chernobyl by Andy Marino. It's a short book, but it's just very intrigued by it. 26th of April, 1986, at 1:18. Alina and Lev are 2 siblings living in Pripyat, one of the Soviet Union's proud nuclear cities. Both are asleep in their beds. Their cousin Yuri is a custodian at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, where he fiercely attacking a spill in the hallway with a mop. Alina's best friend, Sophia, sleeps just a few doors down. Her father is an engineer at the plant, a fact that has always filled her with pride. In 5 minutes, reactor number 4 will explode in a ball of fire. It will expel radiation across their town for 9 days before it's finally contained. But for those young people and the city of Pripyat, this is the moment that changes their lives. Like I said, I love history, even 1986, like anything big, events that are just, I don't know, I just like learning. And I don't know hardly anything about Chernobyl. I don't even think I'd ever heard of it until I'd heard the Curly Reader, Amanda from the Curly Reader here on YouTube and Instagram, talk about it. And so when I saw this was coming out, it just came out this year. I think it was a new release recently. I read the synopsis and was very intrigued, so happy to have that. And I will link her channel below. And I got White Scar by Jill Petz, I think I said. In the year 2050, Aster, a young woman, is accused of murdering 4 innocent beings. She is magically preserved in a cave, along with the judge who sentenced her, her loyal cat, and one of the 3 wands used to imprison her. 100 years later, Ralph and Alba unwittingly free Aster, and their lives become much more complicated. Now they have an epic fight between good and evil, where not everything is as it seems. Set in Yorkshire in 2150, following a global war ended by a meteor smashing into Earth, this book takes the atmospheric White Scar caves in Yorkshire and puts them at the heart of a magical adventure story perfect for middle grade readers. It also says White Scar is a story of a 14-year-old twins, Ralph and Alba Millway, who find themselves battling with dark forces to secure a wand and the safety of the world. It is a coming-of-age novel as the twins force their place in an uncertain world. I'm sure I'm going to be Googling these White Scar caves in Yorkshire and stuff. I just love that, and it sounds very atmospheric. And I'm sure people who know about that would love this too, like about that place. So, very excited. And I got book 1 in this series. Book 1 of the LeUyen Stones trilogy by Lou Anderson, and this is Tombs of Dross. This cover just drew me. I love searching and finding things, and I need to stop though. Hunted, stranded, shipwrecked, sold, and betrayed. All to find an old book and realize who you really are. After discovering a mysterious stone pillar, Isaac, Zach, and Breezy find themselves fighting for their lives in a strange and perilous world, unaware of the disruption they bring. Hunted by the immortal Lord Sasson, the teens forsake all to pursue an ancient quest in hopes of returning home. Together with some misfit rebels and a giant lynx named Noosa, they battle over land and sea while learning who they are and an ultimate sacrifice they must make. All of that sounds incredible. Such a great adventure. Sounds atmospheric. Quest, misfit rebels, a giant lynx. So so excited. And I think the series would be called The Forbidden Instrument, and this is called The Horns Hoax, but they're together. It's always hard to tell when they do it like that. And it's by Hector Cantu Khalifa. Dark energy has a price. One day Henry's father leaves for work like usual, but never comes home. Left to fill his father's shoes with his younger siblings, 16-year-old Henry convinces his mother to book a family vacation at a remote cabin. He quickly realizes they were in a mysterious land when he and his 11-year-old brother Morris find 2 strange horns and are thrown into a faraway universe where wizards are real and magic rules. The brothers soon find themselves smack in the middle of wizard war between the Beneficums and the Moleculums. Both groups are fascinated by the humans and the horns they carry. The boys have no idea one horn has dark powers and alters the soul of the one who carries it. They just want to get home again, but someone in the wizard world wants to use the horn's power for dark purposes and will stop at nothing to get them. In a strange world where wizards fight each other and are not what they seem, who can the brothers trust? More importantly, how will they ever get home alive? So it's a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old brother, but it's listed as middle grade, so I'm sure it's going to read that way, hopefully. So, very excited. It sounds so good. I don't know what the series is called. Maybe it's just called what the first book's called, Escape to Vendor by Emily Golis. So beautiful. And I love it when they're soft like this. Misfits of Paracosmia. The world of Vendor existed only in Megan's imagination, or so she thought. For as long as she can remember, Megan Bradshaw has imagined herself as the heroine of Vendor, her own secret world populated with mermaids, centaurs, samurai, and more. When school pressures and an upcoming move make life unbearable, Megan wishes she could escape to Vendor for real, and then she does. Megan finds herself trapped in Vendor with flesh and blood versions of her imaginary characters. Dreaming about being a hero and actually fighting monsters are 2 very different things, especially when the shadow, the frightening creature now tearing Vendor apart, is one Megan doesn't remember putting there. Megan, playing the part of her alter ego, Selena, embarks on a dangerous journey, accompanied by a know-it-all centaur and a goblin she's not sure she can trust. Will the shadow destroy her before she can find a way to save her world? So a world you created yourself and you get to go into, and a know-it-all centaur and a goblin, like, it just sounds so good. I think it might be a little bit darker, so maybe upper middle grade, I'm not sure yet, but so excited. And then I've wanted the books by Laurie Dawn for so long. I got a bunch. Rocking Horse War. The triplets disappear one morning, leaving only a few clues behind. An open upstairs window, 3 missing rocking horses, and some strange hoof prints on the lawn outside. Older sister Pearl sets out to find them, but Thomas, a mysterious boy with extraordinary talents, has very different plans. As powerful land magicians turn the very rocks of the mountains against her, can Pearl save her brother and sisters from the unknown fate that lies ahead? A tale of dark magic and destiny set in the 1920s Scottish Highlands. Sounds so good. The trilogy is Spell Chasers, and book 1 is The Beginner's Guide to Curses, The Shapeshifter's Guide to Running Away, and then The Witch's Guide to Magical Combat. Molly hesitated. Are you cursed? The girl nodded. Aren't you? Curses aren't real. Magic is only in stories. So Molly Drummond definitely can't be magically cursed, can she? When Molly finds herself in a curse lifting workshop with 4 magical classmates, a Kelpie Dryad, a Sphinx, and a Toad, she's determined not to believe in it. But it's true that whenever a dog barks, Molly suddenly becomes a small and very fast hare. How long can she keep not believing? Follow Molly into a world of brilliant magic, unexpected adventure, and extraordinary friendship. And then the Fabled Beast Chronicles. The first book is First Aid for Fairies and Other Fabled Beasts. And then Wolf Notes and Other Musical Mishaps. Storm Singing and Other Tangled Tasks. Maze Running and Other Magical Missions. Fabled beasts don't just exist in legends, they're real and they need help. Helen is very surprised to find a grumpy, injured centaur on her doorstep. And that's just the beginning. Helen's first aid kit comes in handy when she meets the other fabled beasts, a dragon, a fairy, a phoenix, and a selkie, who seem to have a habit of getting into trouble. Together, Helen and her new friends must solve riddles, fight fawns, and defeat the dangerous master of the maze before midwinter and the end of the world. They sound so good. I'm so excited to have these books by her. I've been wanting them for so long. And I just, so happy. And a trilogy I am very excited about. Scarily Ever Laughter Tales by Amy and Bethany Borscht. This is Cinder Skella. And Little Dead Riding Hood. And then Snow Fright. Looks like the Illustrators, right? Middle school is scary, so are skeleton girls. To win at both, you've got to put some skin in the game. Cindy might appear to be your average 12-year-old, but since her mother's death, she has a secret. Every night she turns into a bony white skeleton. As if that wasn't bad enough, Cindy's dad is afraid of her. She has an evil stepmother who makes her do crazy chores, some of them with a toothbrush. And then there's the werewolf who intends to make Cindy his midnight snack. The spring fling dance is fast approaching, and Ethan, the cutest boy in 6th grade, doesn't seem to know Cindy exists. She doesn't think letting Ethan know she's a cursed skeleton girl is the best way to introduce herself. Determined to break the curse, Cindy travels to the underworld where things aren't quite what they seem, including Mr. Death, the strange and creepy Undertaker. With a jar of pickled pig's feet, a wacky fortune teller, and a cranky skeleton mouse, Cindy is afraid this curse has really gotten under her skin. These sound so good. I love a good retelling, and these just sound so creative and unique. Very happy. And then for Christmas, I got a Curious Cat Spy Club series. First 3 books came in this Super Sleuth set. So book 1, Curious Cat Spy Club. And these are by Linda Joy Singleton. The Mystery of Zorce's Mask. Kelsey the Spy. And I got the rest of the series. The Secrets of the Shadow Bandit. Dog God in Danger. And The Trail of the Ghost Bunny. Catastrophic crime has been committed. Spy savvy Kelsey Case, animal expert Becca Morales, and tech geek Leo Polanski are not exactly friends at school. But when the 3 rescue an abandoned sack of kittens in an alley, they vow to find the culprit. Soon there are reports of missing animals all over town. Kelsey, Becca, and Leo decide to work together to solve the mystery, forming the Curious Cat Spy Club. These just sound right up my alley, and I'm so excited to have them. This is a series I've been wanting for so long. I'm very happy. It's the Creep Over series, and I got the Unlucky 13 collection. There's a lot more to the series, but this is the first 13, and they're by PJ Knight. So book 1, Truth or Dare. And there's a creeper meter on the back to measure your fear, and it has a different one. It goes on, so that's pretty cool too. You can't come in here. Ready for a scare? The show must go on. There's something out there. Best friends forever. Is she for real? Together forever. No trick-or-treating. Super scary, super special. It's all downhill from here. Don't drink the punch. What a doll. And read it and weep. Do you want to know a secret? During a round of Truth or Dare, Abby Miller confesses her crush on Jake Chilson. The only people who know her secret are her friends at her sleepover and whoever sent her a text message in the middle of the night warning her to stay away from Jake or else. But Abby isn't going to stay away from Jake, especially not after he asked her to the school dance. As the night of the dance approaches, some very creepy things start happening to Abby. Someone definitely wants to sabotage her plans with Jake. Is it a jealous classmate, or as Abby begins to suspect, could it be a ghost? So he's kind of giving me like Goosebump vibes just by looking at them, but I've never read Goosebumps, so I don't know. So very excited to have the first 13. Hi y'all, editing bell, popping back in because I wanted to add 2 books to this haul before I post it tomorrow. The first is The Unforgettable Logan Foster by Sean Peters, and HarperCollins sent me this to review. I'm very happy, so thank you very much to them. I think the original release date was January 4th, but I think it got pushed to January 18th, but I'll be reading this very soon to have my review out before it's released. Logan Foster has pretty much given up on the idea of ever being adopted. It could have something to do with his awkward manner, photographic memory, or his affection for reciting curious facts, but whatever the cause, Logan and his PP's prospective parents have never clicked. Then everything changes when Gil and Margie arrive. Although they aren't exactly perfect themselves, Gil has the puniest sense of humor, and Margie's cooking would send another running for the hills. They genuinely seem to care. But it doesn't take Logan long to notice some very odd things about them. They are out at all hours, they never seem to eat, and there's a part of the house that is protected by some pretty elaborate security. No matter what Logan could have imagined, nothing prepared him for the truth. His PPs are actually superheroes, and they're being hunted down by sinister forces. Logan's found himself caught in the middle of a massive battle, and the very fate of the world may hang in the balance. Will Logan find a way to save the day and his new family? Packed with superheroes, supervillains, and epic showdowns between good and evil, debut author Sean Peters shows that sometimes being a hero is just about being yourself. That sounds so good and so creative. Very excited. Thank you again, HarperCollins. And then Quinn Book on Instagram. I'll link her below. She's a great friend I've made on Instagram, and she's got the best page. She takes the most amazing pictures and posts. And she would want a giveaway, so she had my mailing address. So she sent me something, and the luck of her sending me something that I wanted and I didn't have because I have so many books, she just nailed it. I had mentioned that I collect all the books in the Kingdoms and Empires series by Jacqueline Moriarty, and I think there's 3 that I don't have, the Australian editions of the first 2, and then the US edition of the Stolen Prince of Cloudburst. And she got me that one, and she sent it to me with a sweet note and a C.S. Lewis sticker. So I was just blown away, and this is later on in the series, so I'm not going to read the synopsis. The first book is The Extremely Inconvenient Adventures of Bronte Middlestone, but very excited. Oh, it's got a beautiful naked hardback. Thank you so much to her. You should all check her out on Instagram. She's amazing. I love her. Thank you so much, Quinn. Okay, back to the video. That's all for today's video, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. Today's shirt is Mariah. I love her. This is from her Honey album. And are you excited about any of these? Have you read any of them? Do you want to? Let me know in the comments. And if you would like to subscribe, I would love that if you want to. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.